My quick video for you here about how to produce the images that actually show where the previous ROIs have been and what they are labeled as. So what you're seeing right now is just the place where I'm storing the outputs of this process. So this is in the new Phenocam related folder that I attempted to share with you. So hopefully you got that email. And in this Phenocam views and trees. So this is an example of one that I've completed, and it shows you what the actual Phenocam is. So 113 10th Street Northeast. And it also just gives you the rest of this information so you can be clear on what dates, like what FOV this actually came from. So this was 2020 start of season, basically, because FOVs change, as you know. And this has 3 ROIs. One is the main tree, and one here and one here are these 2 little tiny invariant targets. So how do we do this for the other Phenocams? I'll show you the process so you can give it a try. So in the DC Pheno code folder, you can open up Phenocam ROI display per FOV. And it is reasonably well organized at this point. You may need to install some libraries. You can do that. And so step 2, and pretty much all the code that I write is like user data entry, the stuff that you need to change so you don't have to go like looking through the code to do anything. So you need to set the directory to a particular ROI for a set of ROIs for a particular FOV. So in this case, this is the one I just showed you. This is the 113 10th Street, and it's within SOS 2020, and it's one FOV within that. It happens in this case, there's only one FOV for all of start of season because there weren't any radical shifts in the angle of the camera. So let's grab it. Let me continue here. And the other thing you need to set is just a single image that acts as the backdrop image. That is just an image that looks nice that might help you figure out what goes where. So let's do one here. Go out to my Phenocams. So I just did this one, so we'll skip to the next one here. 118 13th Street Northeast. Well, there's only one option here, so we'll look at EOS 2020. Now I need to keep going further in. These are just some of the images. So I can see here that there are 2 field of views here. It shouldn't really matter which one you pick. I guess I would generally pick the later one because that is maybe more representative of where the camera is facing now. But it's not going to match up exactly with what you're going to be looking at anyway. So let's have a look at that. So we'll drill in here. So this is going to be your working directory now, because this is the folder where all of the ROIs actually live. So I'll just open one up here. So this is just an ROI. This is a box that Avery drew that will overlay on the imagery. And it has associated data. So this CSV has some good, useful stuff. And most important for us right now is this description, just that this is what links it to our GIS data. So this is the species code, liquid ambar steraciflua, and a unique ID. So you don't need to know those things right now, but that's what's going to show up on the image. So I'm going to copy this whole path name and paste it in here. I always have to change over my slashes to go the other direction. So now I have forward slashes, and I need to pick a new image. So you can see here that I need to go up 2 levels in the directory to get back to these images. And that's what this is showing you here. This is going up 2 directories. So we'll do that. Up 1, up 2, and we've got images. And let's just see one that looks reasonable. Sure, whatever. Doesn't matter that much for a lot of these. So I'm going to grab the file name and pop that in here, and that's it. So I'll select all my code, run it, and this will count through the ROIs, including invariant targets. And so first of all, note at the bottom here, it says this FOV has 7 ROIs, potentially including invariant targets. And then you've got the image. So I'll zoom in, and then I'm going to do a screen capture of this, including the date, timestamp. Copy that. Paste it in here. I'm going to grab this information. I don't need the whole path, but just the stuff that tells me something useful. Pop that in here. And how many ROIs was it? I think it was 7. So that's it. So now you can see we've got this LIRO in here, which this, doesn't look like the best ROI necessarily because it's got this other thing in it. You've got, some of these ROIs look like they need to be redone. So they're going to see some things that are probably would need to be corrected too. So why don't you give that a shot? Just try to produce some of these images, and this will give you some familiarity with what we're looking at. Let me know if you have questions. So I'm going to keep going here because I think I know what happened. I made a mistake. So this is maybe useful to see. So I chose the later, like the post-November set of ROIs, but I grabbed an image from August 5th, which was from the first field of view. So there's a mismatch probably between these ROIs and the actual imagery. So let me try first just going in and getting an image that actually fits in this date range. So after November 3rd and before January 25th of the next year. So this is November 15th. I'm going to try to go back as early as possible here, just to keep some leaves on the trees. So here I've got November 4th, which is properly in that date range and looks like a decent image. So let me get that instead. Paste that in there. So as you can see, this is a work in progress. So you may run into some other stuff, but okay, this is good. So this means that the ROIs align much better with the actual trees than previously. So nothing bad was happening. I was just looking at it wrong. So we paste that over instead and should be good to go.